Hello, you have reached Sonia Estelle for the monthly read. And we are here to see what February has to offer us in terms of the cards. If you are on my Patreon, you are getting this first and foremost because you are a patron, which I appreciate. If you're not a patron and you're getting this later on YouTube, you can go to my Patreon. You can find it at the link that should be in the description. And I have as low as $1 tier for which you can get this earlier in the month. There's a $5 tier and there's a $10 tier. So 1, 5, and 10. Okay, very simple. I haven't updated it in it forever. It's supposed to be accessible, and $10 a month is the easiest way to get the most affordable readings from me if you want a reading from me once a month. So we are going to get into this and see what February has to offer us. Okay, these two, any other decks? Okay, our decks for this month are the very standard reliable in my collection, Manzel Bowman's Tarot 2. Beautiful deck. And we also have Liminal, Postcards from Liminal Space by Bakara, Wintner, Christian Berry, and Kaylee Christenson. Right? Now, I always tell people the the black and white decks are a little sarcastic, so don't be surprised if it sasses us. And we're just going to shuffle and see what there is to see. February, what would you like to tell us? February, what message do you have for us? February, tell us what it is. Tell us what it do. Tell us what we need to know. February, I have a feeling February, the cards, the tarot cards are going to be the key cards this month. They're the light work, and we're going into oracle cards for February. So we're dealing with different energy. Okay. Ooh, that was immediate. One of you. Okay. Postcards from Liminal Space. What do we need to know for February? Postcards from Liminal Space. What do we need to know for February? Okay. Let me organize. Any other order? Speak, listen, keys. Okay. So this is the no-do keys spread. If you've been here before, you know what it is. If you're new here, welcome. The first column, 2 cards down, is what there is to know. The second column, 2 cards down, is what there is to do. And the third column, 2 cards down, are the key cards. That's the master key and the keystone. This is based on my tattoos. Okay, so what there is to know is the speak side. What there is to do is the listen side. Yes, and then the key cards, which I don't have a tattoo for that yet, but I may in the future. So, do any cards want to change? No. Okay. We begin with protect your ecosystem. And as you can see, it is a heart. It is a heart. Yes, with all kind of plant and weed growing out of it. Okay. And then we have one of the beloved cards of this deck because it's a blessing card, an offering, as in something is coming, some offering is coming. So, don't go be doing frivolous things this month. Really be intentional about your energy, but the protect your ecosystem is also be with those you say you are for. Be doing those things you say you are meant to do. Be in the lane, be fully embodied and fully engaged and fully lean into the alignment of your integrity and your character and who you claim you are in the world and what you claim you desire, you require. Honor your own boundaries, be explicit, tell people the truth, and see who shows up for you. Because in the sincerity and in the embodiment and in the fullness of the showing up and being on full display in the authenticity, you are going to attract the offering. And just in being yourself, going where you want to go, doing what you want to do, being with who you want to be with. Obviously, that's got to be consensual on the other side, right? And then also being in the location you claim you want to be, doing the work you claim you want to do. If it's not your full-time job, making the time in your life to do that work anyway, right? That's going to be really important this month in order to be in the location, to meet the person with which you made the agreement on the spiritual level, to receive this offering, this blessing, this opportunity, Don't let it slip by you. If you have a inclination or an itch that you should accept an invitation, or you should answer a call, or you should go to a place, or you should do a thing, do trust that this month. Trust that instinct and see where it guides you, because it's the version of you who does the thing, who is echoing back that you should do the thing. And so you have to become the version of yourself who does the thing to know why you are being called to, right? There's the version of me that heard tarot decks 15 years ago. That's one dimension. There's the version of me that heard tarot deck and bought a tarot deck 15 years ago. That's another dimension. There's a version of me that heard tarot deck, bought a tarot deck, and used a tarot deck. That's a third dimension. And then there's this version of me who, oh, sorry if that made the sound bad. There's this version of me who bought a tarot deck, heard a tarot deck, bought a tarot deck, use a tarot deck, and then use a tarot deck for 15 years. And that's the one doing the readings, right? And that's the one getting jobs and booking work and having a book contract based on this experience, right? So like, I'm the one calling back to me 15 years ago and being like, tarot deck me, tarot deck, okay? So if that's a location, a person, a place, a thing, and it keeps calling to you and you haven't taken an action yet, this is your sign. This is your sign. And I'm pretty sure in the book, the description for this card is, this is your sign. So just to double down on what I may or may not know, let's look. Except this shit is never in the front. Okay. It must be under O, not N, but offering. An offering. If you're looking for a sign, this is it. That's what it says there, right? And since we're in the book, let's look at protect your ecosystem, which is exactly across from it. It says, your internal environment will dictate every facet of your external existence. Inhabiting a safe ecosystem is the highest evolutionary and spiritual wish. Heaven is a perfect ecosystem, but even the healthiest habitats rely on the life cycle of birth, death, and decay. Pay attention to the seasons, flight patterns, slight changes in weather, the way we are soft, natural material more impacted by the moon and stars than we dare believe. Okay? Do not underestimate your tenderness or be ashamed of your need for love, and set boundaries to keep yourself safe. You deserve that. Okay? So don't settle. It's okay is not good enough. It has to be aligned. It has to feel great. It has to feel like kismet. You have to think, I would be nowhere else. I would be no one else. I would be doing nothing else, right? Like I am where I am supposed to be at. Now, that's what there is to know. What is there to do with what there is to know? The cards don't want to change. Okay. We have the Ouija board. The veil is thin. I just learned from my etymology teacher, aka the guy who runs etymology online. I pay for his Patreon. Okay, I'm a patron too. I pay for his Patreon, and I am a payer of the ad-free subscription on etymology online, and so I get a lot of extra information. So we're going to talk about the history of the Ouija board real quick, and then we have it doesn't want to change either. The wound is the wound and the gift, and we see there's a mother in there. Mother is an archetype, okay? I'm not talking gendered, okay? But mother, the one who birthed you, the motherfucker who brought you onto the earth, okay? The wound and the gift, right? Because a lot of people, I started calling existential dread, existential resentment, right? It's people being like, why do I have to be here? And why do I have to deal with humanity? And why do I have to be myself? And why do I have to know my truth? Because it's already happening. That's why. So all this is to say, the history of the veil is thin is that the word Ouija, it used to be called Ouija, or that's how it was pronounced, Ouija board. And it was named after, I believe, a British author and sort of sensation socialite named Ouida, O-U-I-D-A. Ouida. I'm not familiar with this author, but the board is based on her. Some men made a board game and like did a play on her names, which was became Ouija, but was Ouijer. It was like Ouijer, or maybe it was J-E Ouija. I don't actually know how you spell the Ouija board part of the Ouija, but it's based on this author. And there's a bunch of newspaper clippings about this game because when it came on the scene, it was instantly a hit. I wonder why. And people were claiming it was telling them truths that, and they weren't, not everyone was even asking about ghosts. Like there's a newspaper clipping about a woman being like, is my husband really at work? And the Ouija board was like, nah, he's at the bar, you know? So the spirits were just spilling tea, okay, and telling all the people at their parties each other's business. And it did become a thing that went to court, and people were complaining that the Ouija board was like, you know, telling secrets and like breaking confidentiality and doing weird things in society. So its reputation does precede it. And then of course it's based on Ouija. So when I see the veil is thin and the wound is the gift, it's like all the ancestors are here to support us in being our most authentic selves, in getting humanity right. And by getting humanity right, I mean being the version of yourself that's most authentic, minding your business, aka being the version of yourself that's most authentic, leading by example, aka being the version of yourself who's most authentic, and then seeing who rises up to meet you, who reflects you, who is inspired by you, who follows in your footsteps, who decides that because you can do that, they can do that. You know, we're reflecting the best that we have of ourselves to each other in order to inspire humanity to rise to the occasion, for which it has had a millennias on millennias and millennias of preparation, which is to be a diverse, accountable, aligned species that is not fighting itself or the fact that it exists, right? Because this idea of nihilism, the fact that the word sin means to be, you know, this anger, this existential resentment that people have about the fact that they exist. Look, you're here now, thankfully. Obviously, existence needed you to be all that it is. And since it's infinite and constantly expanding, you know, it's including everything it needs. And because you are here, that includes you. And the unique puzzle piece that you are is required to make the bigger picture whole. And you don't need to be any other piece in the puzzle. You just need to be the piece that you are, so that you can rightly coordinate and calibrate and direct yourself. And so there's an energy in what there is to do, in like trust the unknown, you know, trust the versions of yourself that you're becoming, trust the versions of yourself that you are not yet, trust in your ability to coexist with everything that's already here, trust in your ability to be yourself, trust in your ability to be your most authentic self, your most powerful self, your most genuine self, your most preferred self, your most joyous self. Trust yourself to go further, farther, better, longer, stronger. You know, give yourself the world, essentially. Allow yourself to have every opportunity to be the most aligned, most genuine, most loving, most authentic self that you can be, and then see how humanity looks from that reality. All right, we're moving on to the tarot. Key cards. Oh, I can hear the imaginary audience being like, but you read the first two cards from the book, so why won't you read the last two cards? Fine, I will. The veil is thin. C is... It is a common misconception that the only way something becomes real is if more than one person experiences it. And yet, you are the only one hearing the whispers from beyond the veil, and they are as real as anything else. Take from this place only what you can carry in your mind and come back quickly, right? Meaning, go use the message, right? Tarot deck, and go act quickly. Go back quickly means take the message and act on it. Take the message and act on it, and then see what happens. Then take the next message and act on it and see what happens. And orient yourself in the direction of what you prefer, right? If it's something I prefer and it's something I'm aligned with, when it's within my power, I'm going to invoke more of the people, places, locations, behaviors, and things that help me feel that way or help me embody that way of being, right? And if it's something I don't prefer and it's something I don't like, then when it's within my power, I'm going to invoke less of the people, places, locations, behaviors, and things that make me feel that way, right? Now, we're about to do this tarot real quick because I realize I only have 2 minutes left on this camera. So you're just going to have to take for what the wound is the gift for, because it's really long. So sorry. So our master key, should you choose to accept it, is the 7 of Wands, right? Choose your battles. Also, decide who you actually want to be in alignment with. Who are your people? Spend more time with the people that you're actually aligned with so you feel less provoked and aggravated and irritated and resentful about existence. Whenever it's within your control, we're not talking about perfection. We're talking about practice. Okay. And then that's the master key. It unlocks the doors. Make sure you're in the right community. And then the keystone that's holding up the building is the Knight of Pentacles. And, it's about building something. It's about building something for the community. It's about building something that helps not just yourself, but others. It's about collaborating. It's about coordinating. It's about creating community where you live. It's about starting to be involved on the ground in a direct and in a physical way, in an embodied way, not just in a theoretical way, not just in an intellectual way, not just in a nostalgic way, but actually seeing what's going on around you, participating, involving yourself, getting to know people, being out there, being an example in the world, allowing yourself to be someone that is met by others. This is very important for the embodiment and the betterment of the species, that we have more people who are actually making an effort out in reality. So this is the reading. Thank you for being here. Enjoy February, and I'll see you in March. Thanks. Bye-bye.